Hello everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Welcome. I'm so excited. I can't believe that I was online yesterday and I'm live today. And it's such an exciting topic. My 20 successes from 220. Now we are already in 220. I was just going to say 220, no, 221. But I thought it is not too late to make this video. And if you have had successes in 220, please comment down below. And if you want to write this list for yourself, I've actually been inspired to write this list by a podcast by Jodie Moore. I think the podcast is called Better Than Happy. It's really cool. Check it out if you like. And so, yeah, this has inspired me to do this. This is a really, really great episode. I'm so excited that you're here. And I want to start and jump right in because I have 20 things I want to talk about. So my first success of 220, by the way, when I talk about successes, obviously we've all had our ups and downs in 220, also me. And but this is particularly why Jodie Moore and now also me, why I want to share these things, because I want you and also me to see that even though it's been a year of the pandemic, that there are also really good things that have come out of this year. Because any year, whether we are in a pandemic or no pandemic, there's always going to be good and bad things. Also wanted to tell you, grab your cup of tea or your cappuccino or whatever. As you know, I'm off coffee now, but if you want to have a coffee, go ahead, although it might be a bit late if you're watching this live. Anyhow, my first success of 220, and you may have seen a couple of videos about this topic on my channel, is that I did Self-Coaching Scholars, a coaching program that I joined at the beginning of the previous year. And I'm so happy that I did that, because I don't want to say too much, but I think that probably this is one of the programs that I have joined that has given me the most learnings or the most success in my personal life and how I show up in life. And because I've made all these other videos, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I do want to share that I'm really proud of myself that I showed up for every single personal coaching session last year. And that means I showed up for one per week. And that means every single week of the past year, whether I was on holiday, whether I was sick, no matter what, I always showed up for that coaching session. It was a 20-minute coaching session, but super intense, super to the point, and I've learned so much. And I obviously learned from this program from the start to the end, but I want to share that I had particularly two sessions that pushed me forward. One, actually, to do these videos, because before I had that session, I was so scared to make videos. And the other one was about a more personal topic that I'm not going to talk about right now, but when it comes to Self-Coaching Scholars, I had a huge shift in September because I was finally able to really change my thinking when I wanted to, rather than that my thinking just takes over and spirals out, and I don't have any control over this. So, yes. And then I was just thinking if there was anything else I wanted to share about this program, but no, I think generally I now understand that our thoughts are not facts. Some of them are, most of them aren't, and that it is very important to answer my own questions, or for you, because we all ask ourselves these questions, and when we don't answer them, very often our brain will jump in and answer them in a way that doesn't serve us. And a good, I don't know if this is a good example, but I can't think of any other example right now. For example, if you ask yourself, why can I not lose weight, or why am I not better? at such and such? First of all, it's not a good question to ask because it usually leads to a negative answer, like because you can't stay away from cupcakes, or because like some sort of negative answer. So if you reframe the question and you ask, for example, well, how could I stay away from it? Or how could I implement something better? Then you're on a much better path already. But generally speaking, the coaches of the life coaching school have several times reminded me to answer your own question, my own question, or to reframe it, because it makes such a difference. Like, all of these questions may be so subtle in the back of your mind, you might not even notice. You might only notice about the way that you feel, which will then be negative and have a negative influence in your life. But if you answer your questions, then that's a very good way to start. And also, I've learned to intentionally think about what I want to think about and not what my brain pushes out there. So yeah, that's enough about the first point. So the second point is that I ran my coaching program twice. For the first time, but then also for the second time. So I have led the first couple of students through my coaching program, Transform Your Love Life. And it was really, really exciting to do that and to see the results immediately, to get to the point with my clients, to get to the point really quickly and figure out what was holding them back in their love life, and to just also perfect the program more and more and more, the more times that I'm running it. But I'm really, really glad that I committed to doing that and that I got the role rolling into 20. My third success, which actually I wouldn't have thought that this would happen, has to do with this channel and YouTube, is that in December, I reached 7.1K watch time, which is really, really high because I'm obviously at this point still a small channel. And the highest watch time that I had before I climbed to that one is 2.2K. I was usually between 1.5 and 2.2. And in September, I was at 2.2. And then gradually September, I think October, I had maybe 4.4. And then November, I reached 5K, 6K. And I honestly thought 5K actually was my absolute highest goal. And I would have been so happy to close the year with 5K. And then this is the other thing I wanted to mention. One night, I looked at my statistics for the live stream about judgment. I think it's called like when we judge others, we really judge ourselves. And I had 9 views. And then the next morning I woke up and that live stream had 370 views. And that is basically what made it go to 7.1K, which was absolutely crazy, and I couldn't believe it. So that is actually a huge, huge success. And thank you so much for watching my live streams and my videos. Yeah, I was just so excited when I saw that number. Point 4 also has to do with YouTube. My success in May was that I had 100 subscribers, and at the end of the year, I had 158, and now we're at 161. The success number 5 has to do with something within my relationship, which probably I'm going to share very soon, but I want to have a chat to my boyfriend to find out how much I'm allowed to share. So I'm not going to share that now, but this has been a really, really huge shift, basically between also kind of like, I mean, obviously I can't compare my relationship and my YouTube channel, but within the same time frame, between September and December, there was a big positive shift in my relationship, which hopefully I can share very soon. Point number 6 is that I succeeded in surviving COVID, because I think I've had it in March. So yeah, that wasn't that nice. Number 7, I don't know if this is a success, but I just wrote it down. I wrote down that I'm just so grateful for all the love and help that I received through hard times of 2020 more. I started to connect with, I just feel like I started to connect with nature so much more. And how did I do that? When I went for more walks, because it started to be kind of one of the only things that we can do nowadays. And I just basically set it in my mind, I'm connecting with nature. Like, I looked at the birds, I looked at the trees, and I just said to myself, I'm connecting with nature. And I just started to feel more connected. So if that's something that you aim to do, and also, why would you be aiming to do that? Just because it makes you feel better. If you feel connected to Mother Nature, you'll see it does make a difference. You feel much more energetic and more alive, and I can only recommend it. So that was a good one. Number 9, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I spoke about this in the previous live stream so much, but it's a big one, a very big one. And I did honestly not think that I would change this in 2020, but it's about changing my eating and coffee habits for the better. And that was actually on my vision board. I wrote nutritious foods, and then I stuck all these pictures of these nutritious foods on my vision board. And honestly, when I stuck it on there, I never thought that it would come into my reality that the way that it has come into my reality now. I don't know how else to explain this, but it's amazing. And I'm really glad that I finally made this shift and that it doesn't feel hard, because anything you make a decision about, in the end of the day, when you're like fully committed and fully decided on something, then it's not hard. It's when, and I think I wrote this down somewhere. No. Oh, yes, I did. I wrote this down. When you try, I don't know if you've had this example by somebody else, but let's say you haven't. Let's say I'm trying to drink. So if I'm trying to drink, I'm just trying. So I'm not actually drinking. I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking. I'm trying to drink, which means I'm not really doing anything. I'm just spending my energy in the middle, which is not where I want it and not where it actually serves anybody. And so when you make a decision and you stop trying, the funny thing is, I don't know if you've heard this somewhere else, but the funny thing is there are languages, I forgot what languages there are, but there are languages where the word try doesn't exist, because try basically means you're like in the middle, you're being vague about something, you're not too sure about something. So I am trying to actually not use the word try anymore, because it is not effective for yourself, for anybody. It doesn't do anything to anybody, really. So let's move on to number 10. I wrote down always having Dr. Joe meditation as part of my life, whether it's my own, my group meditation, or if I do it with my friend. I see this as a success because I'm really glad that I've been able for another year. And the first year that I've started it was 2018. Summer of 2018 is when I started. So that yet another year I have been able to implement meditation and visualization into my life. And I never want to stop, because it's amazing and it brings results to you and it's great. So number 11, a full second year of monthly reviews. So I'm going to link some of the other videos about monthly reviews, but because we are at the beginning of the year, I wanted to quickly say, if there's something that you want to begin in this year, if there's something easy, but you want to reflect more this year, this is a very good time. January to 21. This is a very good time to now, after this live stream, ring up your friend and say, hey, do you want to do monthly reviews with me? And what does that mean? That means that you buy, wait, let me see, where do I have my new, here. I bought a new monthly review book, and actually you can buy whatever you want. I just bought this cool sketchbook from Rimmon. Why did I buy a sketchbook? Because I wanted something with harder pages, because I like to make, well, I want to keep this and I want to make this memorable. And I usually choose a word of the year. And yeah, so basically the way this works, and I just want to describe this very briefly for you. Every month, and this is great to do with a friend that you would normally catch up with anyways, because then you can catch up on a deeper level, because you can think about what categories you want to do. Like what my friend and me usually have done are like the ups of the month, the downs of the month, like challenges, things that we're grateful for, things that we want to implement this month. And then when you meet up, the other person can hold you accountable. And it's just a great way to reflect on each month. And what it's made me realize is that during the course of 1 month, there is more to experience, to learn, and to reflect than I ever thought. I thought that it would take a bigger amount of time than just 1 month, but truly it doesn't. Like every month there is something to share. Every month, actually every single day there would be something to share or learn, but we're doing it in monthly periods, which is really great. So do that. If you are keen to do that, do it now. Don't postpone it. Don't say you're going to try. Just do it if you want to do it. Number 12. I created a better relationship with my mom. I want you to comment, lots of people always had difficult. I was able to create a better relationship with my mom. Then I'll ring her up and ask her how much I'm allowed to share. And then I'll let you know about it. But that's been a really big success for me this year. And then number 13, something similar. I've created better communication with my dad. The way that I did that is I asked myself how I could do it, and what my higher self said to me was that I should just ring up my brother and get some advice from him. And he got into it and he helped me out. And now our communication is much better. Number 14, another success, or just something that I'm really happy about, is that my parents and my brother, so my family, was finally able to meet my boyfriend. Well, obviously not in person, but via FaceTime. We finally organized it, and it was really great. I want to share a little bit because I'm obviously German and my partner is British, and my parents only speak German. So this was the very first time that I was in a situation where I had to translate on the spot and translate really quickly. And I really wasn't sure how great of a delay. But in the end of the day, it was fine. And we had a good laugh, so even though I had to translate. And a lot of the time when I was meant to translate into German, I didn't actually say it in German, and then everybody laughed, and then I outdid my money goal. I'm not going to share it here. Maybe further along this YouTube channel, I'll share more money topics, but right now I'm not going to share it. But yes, I achieved my goal. So now this year, I think it's more about focusing on achieving my next money goal without overworking myself, because that doesn't do any good for anybody. Number 6, is it 16? No, it's number 17. I had a beautiful July and September holiday. We went Brighton in July, and we went just to like the outskirts of London in September. But it was just really, really beautiful. And number 18, I overcame 2 lows this year. I had a bit of a low in April, and I basically, when we were in the first strict lockdown, I had a bit of a low. And then when we went into the second one in November, I had a bit of a low. But I have shared how I have dealt with that. And I think it's the last live stream in December. I'm also going to link that. But that's where I shared how I've dealt with that. But I am actually really glad how I've managed to get out of it quite quickly. Number 19, I overcame my victim mentality. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm generally in a victim mentality. There were only some situations. Speaking of point number 18, basically, sometimes last year, mainly in April, not so much in November because I had overcome it already, but mainly in April, when I would hit a low and I would be like, well, things would be so much easier if this and this person would call me, or if such and such person would support me more. And that's really coming from a victim mentality, because I'm the person, or I can find ways to support myself more. But yeah, I can just say I'm glad I have overcome that, because that can really be in the way of relationships. Number 20, a very, very big learning, but I think I also shared this in the December live stream, is that when other people don't show up, I show up for myself. This goes for everybody, whether it's friends or my boyfriend. I'm just going to give you an example. A girl that I wanted to go for a walk with, she canceled like half an hour before we were meant to meet, and I basically couldn't, like, I had a break scheduled from work and I couldn't reschedule it. I just had to take that time, and I couldn't really make any other plans because it was too last minute. So I did just think about in my mind, like, what can I do? And I just decided to go for a walk by myself, to go to some of the shops. Can't remember if they were open at the time, but basically to not get into this negative mindset where I ruminate about her not showing up and me being really annoyed about it. I just basically forgot about it and thought about other things that I want to think about, and had a really, really good time during those breaks, actually. And yeah, that's a big thing and a big success from 2020. Now, you know that I am coaching women in their love life. So if you struggle in your love life, or if you know anybody who has like a complicated love life, or who's too shy to go out, or who just doesn't know what's going wrong in their relationships, please, the third live stream in a row, but I thought it's a great time to talk about 2021 goals, habits, and changes that I want to make in 2021, and also about organization, and maybe that is something. Time 5 p.m. UK time. I hope you can be with me, and yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, it's free. You can subscribe, put the bell for a notification, and I'm sending you